Hello and welcome. I'm Emerald Mosaic. I forgot to pull up my stool. It's been one of those days. It's kind of been one of those weeks. And so I needed to paint. Like, this is therapy for me. That's all right. I wanted to start off by showing you how the painting from last time turned out. So I hope you can see it pretty clearly here. I tried to gauge where to hold it. Yeah, I really like this flower the best. That little bit of yellow in there, and the fact that I did 5 petals, I think that turned out very pretty. But I have to say the cells in this one are very pretty too. So I think if I do these again, I'm gonna do 5 petaled flowers because that just turned out so pretty. So there's that one. And also, after I finished the video, I couldn't stop. So I decided to do a black base, and I used a straw again to blow this out. I was aiming for a flower, but a friend of mine told me that it looked like a tree. And I was like, oh, it does. So I decided, well, and I was thinking like, it almost looked, I don't know, a tiny bit like a nightshade flower. It really doesn't. It's my imagination, but whatever. So I decided to call this nightshade tree because it's a tree. So, and then I still couldn't stop. So I took a hanging shelf. This is the other half, the piece that I did not do. But I decided to take that and I did this little guy. I used a straw. So what I decided to do something fun for the background. For my base, I alternated white and black, zebra, and then I put dots of color, just like 2 colors in each dot, and then I blew it out. And I love how that yellow just kind of mixed in and blended. Well, and that's what I would loved about that one flower, is how the yellow blended with that blue so pretty. And then I also took some of my pearl metallic and used that, and it's my mom said, can I suggest a name for this? I was like, well, sure. She said, call it Intrigue, because I just can't stop looking at it. And I'm like, well, that works. Okay. And then yesterday evening, I did black background using a brush, and I just put a few dots of color and just brushed it on. So I did 2 shades of blue and a little bit of yellow, and it just gives a little bit of kind of texture to it. So there's a hanging shelf, and another friend of mine was like, but if you put stuff on it and, you know, hang it, then you'll never see the painting. And I'm like, well, just flip it upside down. You put the stuff up here and you have it hang it high enough, and then you can see the background. The part I painted, you know. You do whatever you want. There's no rules here. So many rules in life are arbitrary, I think. And I am kind of done with arbitrary rules. So anyway, for today, I'm obviously going to do a funnel pour. I got some canvases at the local craft resale shop. I gotta double check that this is centered. So if I put this here, that's off. It moved. So if I put it there, that's off center. So that needs to move. That needs to move that way, I hear. Let's see. It might be that's off center. That's a little bit better. That's close enough. That's good enough for me. Now I just got to not move it, right? Okay. So I'm going to have a little fun with it. Somebody had requested that or suggested that I do a painting. 2 people mentioned us. Do one with black and white and gray. And I was like, that sounds interesting, but it took me like a month to figure out how I wanted to do it. Finally settled on a funnel pour. And so I strained some old paint, and I decided to add first a little bit of purple to it because it was like pinkish gray, icky. So I added a little bit of purple to it, and then I added a little bit of, which one was this? My cobalt blue. And And then I ended up adding a little bit of this Color Pour light blue. And then I ended up adding a tiny bit of Color Pour light pink. And so what I've ended up with is kind of a steel gray. I love gray with a little bit of blue in it. I think that is just beautiful. Almost like federal gray. Federal blue, I guess, is what it's called. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And then I have Acrylology Black. This is a bottle that used to have a different color in it, but I've washed the bottle really well. So this is actually Acrylology Black that I mixed with Floetrol and water 1 to 1 to 1. This is the Pearl Metallic, Anita's Pearl Metallic. Such a pretty color, and the fact that it's metallic just makes it really shine. But you have to shake it right before you use it, even though that makes a lot more bubbles, because it'll separate out a tiny bit. So there, I shook it. Then I have Sax Titanium White. Again, I put it in another bottle, and I have a second bottle just in case I run out. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's start filling the funnel. So I'm gonna start, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do black, gray, pearl, black, gray, white. Black, gray, pearl, black, gray, white until I fill the funnel. I didn't want to do all pearl or all white because I thought that that would kind of overwhelm it. So I'm gonna kind of alternate between those two. Little variety. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. There's some black, my federal blue. You know, it would help if I opened these. You know, thankfully I can do that mostly one-handed, but it really would help if I opened that and got that little bit of dried paint off before I started. Oh well, I did it. I'm kind of wondering if that's gonna sink or if that's gonna stay near the top. Okay, so now it's black. Let me bring this over here so you can see it better. Federal blue. Might as well show off what I'm doing, right? That's the whole point of the video, right? Pearl. Oh, crap, I was supposed to do white. Okay, well, there's 2 of pearl, so I guess I'll do 2 of white next, maybe? So, between ADHD and perimenopause, there's been a lot of brain fog and emotional dysregulation and not being able to remember anything and not being able to stay on track. Yeah, I've had a few rough days, and then today ended up being I woke up with pretty severe pain, and that does not help anything. Thankfully, the pain meds have worked. I hate taking pain pills. I truly hate taking pain pills, and I had to because I couldn't function. So yeah, that's life sometimes. I'm working really hard on radical acceptance that my life is what it is, my body does what it does, and what I have to do then, see, I remembered I switched it out. What I have to do is work with it to the best of my ability. And that's a challenge. But it is what it is. I used to hate that saying. Oh my goodness. Like, don't say that to me. I can't accept that what is. This is horrible. It needs to change. Well, if you can't change it, then saying that doesn't do any good. All it does is cause you distress. As I've heard it said, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So I'm trying to learn acceptance so that I can avoid suffering. Yay, I remembered to switch it out. So I'm just doing 2 layers with each shade. 2 of white, 2 of pearl. Okay. I like this federal blue. That's gonna be so pretty. There's some white, and then black. I find painting so soothing. Even mixing paints or straining my paints, anything where I get paint on my hands is so soothing to me. Okay, here's my second of white, so I'm going to switch out for the pearl. There we go. Try not to overdo the black. Kind of want this to kind of take precedence. Pearl. A little bit more than usual. It sunk a little bit. I'm so looking forward to seeing how this turns out. This is going to be a fun one. One more of pearl. Now I'm going to switch it out. Getting close to the top. Oh, I forgot black. Okay. All right, reverse order there. What's life? What is being human without some mistakes, right? That's what being human is, to make mistakes, and learning to forgive ourselves and others goes a long ways towards having peace in your heart. By the way, just to be clear, forgiving another person does not mean condoning their actions. It doesn't mean completely letting them off the hook. It means that you have peace in your heart. You can learn to have some compassion on them, understanding why they are the way they are, why they did what they did. Ooh, that's the last of the blue. Oh, last of the federal blue. Okay. Once you understand where someone is coming from, it's a whole lot easier to have compassion on them. I think, let's see, I'll do a little bit more pearl. I'm just going to end this with black and white, I guess. A little bit more black. Okay, that's 2 of pearl, and then I'll finish it off with just a little bit of white. Okay. All right. Whew. You ready? I can see some cell formation already in here. This is going to be pretty. All right, here we go. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Look at that. Woo. Trying to bring it over a little bit because it's falling off the side already. So I'm going to bring it over here a little bit. And off. Oh. Okay. I think that my level was wrong. My level told me I needed to put something under there. I'm already losing some of it. Let me bring it back a little bit. Okay. Well, let it kind of flow out a little. This is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. These lines, the shading. Oh, that's pretty. All right. Time to spin. Ooh, look at the little circle of white. It's shifting a tiny bit. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more vigorous. There we go. Okay, let's bring this over a bit. See if I can't get it to cover that edge over there, that corner. Yeah, it's completely ignoring two corners. Let me bring that, set that right there, shift that a little bit. Okay. Over the corners. Come on. All the way over the corner. There it goes. And then, oops, over this one. Let me bring it kind of back to the center first. There we go. Over this way. And then over this way. Okay. Need a little bit on that corner, just a tiny bit. Bring it back to the center. Bring it back this way just a little bit. Whoa. Well, that was not supposed to happen. What did I say about humans and making mistakes? I guess I'm human, huh? If you can laugh at yourself, it doesn't hurt nearly as much. Okay, a little bit more over here. Just a little bit more down that edge. There we go. Okay, that's so pretty. I'm gonna have to torch that here in a second and see what on earth comes out. Oh my goodness, that's messy. Oh, paint on my hands feels so good. And that's running down the tablecloth. I'm gonna have to, there we go, make a bib. All right. Yeah, let me get a little bit more off. I mean, oh well. It's a painter's torch. It's going to have paint on it. All right, let's see what happens. This is very pretty. What I'm looking forward to seeing is, as I look at it from one direction or another, what shapes I see. Like there's been some that I've seen animals and others that I've seen objects, and it's always interesting to see what pops up. I can see the pearl starting to shine through this. There's some more pearl up there. It didn't show up nearly as much as I kind of wished, but that's all right. This is so pretty. I think if I had used a little less black and concentrated a little bit more on the pearl and the white, that probably would have helped a little bit. But it is still a very pretty painting. I like this. I like that little bit of black there in the middle. That's pretty. I'm gonna tuck this up so it doesn't drip all over my floor. Oh, yeah, there's a reason why I wear an apron. Let me get my other rag. And I'm gonna get the camera and give a close-up for you. I have a case on my camera. I'm not gonna reach over. I'm gonna come around. So bear with me for just a second while I get my camera here and unplug it. It's always low on battery when I want to paint. All right, let's see if we can get some good close-up here. Get it to focus. So there's that. Look at that in the center. That's so pretty. Yeah. It almost looks like an old piece of wood. Petrified wood, maybe. It's kind of what it reminds me of. So then top down view, sorry for twisting it. Trying to get a good view without too much glare. So yeah. All right. I like it. I hope you like it too. I hope you had fun watching this. I'm so grateful for all of the people who have liked and commented and subscribed. I now have 50 subscribers at least. So just kind of blows me away. By the way, I'm noticing that in the camera, it looks a whole lot more gray than blue. There's something about my camera that shifts the color a little bit, and I wish I could adjust that because it really is more bluish than it looks on the camera. My camera tends to do a little bit of a yellow shift. So, but anyway, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for painting with me. And I hope that you are painting too. And so y'all have a wonderful day and happy Thanksgiving. Take care, y'all.